What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, and on the phone, we got Marcus of Avatarium. Thank you so much for your time today, man.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Your newest record is The Fire I Long For. Do you just want to give like a brief rundown on how the making of this record was and the recording, production, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, well, to try to make it short, but it's, you know what, I have a studio in Stockholm where I work, and that's where we did both the pre-production and the final recordings. And so it was a good way to work, because we gives us more time. We don't have to work really hard on the clock, so we can give it a little more time. And I think that was good for this album. And also, actually, me and Jan, the singer, we are married, and we have a son that's like, when we did the album, he was like about a year or something. So we had to find time to record stuff when he was asleep or whatever. So it was like, we had to. It was like a puzzle to make the recordings, actually, but it turned out good. And I think we had the aim with the album was to make it sound really big and fat and dark and doomy, but still have some what can you say, like lights coming down through the dark clouds now and then. So there's like, it's supposed to be dark and heavy, but it's also supposed to bring some kind of hope and light and that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I was curious about is, did you just consider this picking up from where you left off after Hurricanes and Halos, or do you think that this, The Fire I Long For, is more or less kind of like a standout in the Avatarium catalog?
I think every album we do responds on the previous albums in one way, and we felt a little bit with Hurricanes and Halos that turned out a little bit too much of classic rock, in style and sound. So we wanted to make it darker and heavier, actually, this album. So, but for us, every album, we always try to do something new and to break boundaries and reach, new goals and experiment and explore, new sounds and new emotions. So every album is important, and every album is like kind of like a diary, for the period when we record and write the album.
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed that. Yeah. Well, I remember, like from reading about the album, that there was kind of like a personal approach that your vocalist brought into this. And what I was curious is there ever a time where maybe a concept could determine the music itself, or are lyrics and an idea kind of like the last and more of a secondary approach in the songwriting process?
I think lyrics are extremely important for us, but it's not like, it's not a concept album, but we have some things that we are very interested in, and these kind of stuff tends to be dealt with in the lyrics, and the music is kind of emotional and powerful, so I guess it's suitable to talk about some of the big questions like afterlife or life and death and all this kind of stuff, or some psychological stuff like what's going on inside our minds, when we react in special ways and all this kind of stuff. So lyrics are definitely important for us, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Being a guitarist, one thing I was always curious about is there a music theory element that you have behind your solos? Like you have to work off of a certain mode or a certain key or a certain scale, or is a lot of the guitar work that you incorporated like more improvised?
It's a good question. I think it goes way. Sometimes it's improvised, but usually I have some kind of idea, and but it's the same there. I always try to do something that I didn't do before, and I try not to be too intellectual actually when I play guitar. Mm-hmm. I've been playing guitar for quite a long time, and I know quite much about guitar, but I try to play solos the same way as when I write songs and write melodies for vocals. I try a little bit to find phrases and to find something that makes sense, in the music, and hopefully lifts the music and carry the song on. What is it? And makes the song flow and find a flow in the song, so to speak. So it's in some of the songs like Porcelain Skull, where it's like some kind of old Sabbath, a little bit weird harmony. These kind of places, I tend to like to keep it simple and just play like pentatonic stuff over that. I think that gives it a kind of cool flavor, for example. But it's not that intellectual. It's more about, if it feels good, it's good.
Yeah, well, I feel like guitar soloing has just as much emphasis on like the vocals in terms of its ability to convey emotion and stuff like that.
Yeah, really. I think that's important. And in some guitar solos has been for quite a long time just a moment where a guitar player should come in and like impress and show everything he knows, and be like that. And to me, that can be, of course, it can be fun to watch or whatever on the show, but it's not like musical in the way I like it. If you can make, it's like in a classical piece when maybe it's a piano concerto, but a clarinet comes in and plays a melody, and the melody is still supposed to lead the music, and then do something that makes sense and that's emotional and that makes the music even better. That's how a guitar solo should be to me. It's as important as vocals for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said like rhythm pushes the song forward and melody pulls the song forward. That was always the best way I was able to kind of especially for your music.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. And as a guitar player, I think that's one of the fun things also with a guitar player, just because you can both play the rhythms and you can be a big part of the sound, but you can lean back a little bit and be in the background, and then you can move forward and do your solo and hopefully contribute to something that makes to reach a climax or something like that. So guitar is an extremely cool instrument in that way that you can do so many things with it.
Yeah,
you can have many roles in the band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've noticed, especially with this album, like a song like Voices is very different from a song like Lay Me Down, which is very different from like Shake That Demon and Stars They Move. So like it almost seems like there wasn't like a formula that dictated the making of this whole album. It seems like things really did happen organically, right?
Yeah, really. And it's also, to me, it's when you listen to an album, I can get bored when every song sounds the same, and you can hear, okay, we have this amp and this guitar on every song, and everything is the same, so to speak, or like with drums, whatever. You find the sound and then you record it. To us, we wanted to give every song its own identity and find every song's soul, and then of course it has to fit in the whole album, but that's what makes the whole album hopefully a nice journey to listen to.
Yeah, of course. So here comes the most difficult question, because, a song like Epitaph of Heroes is almost 7 minutes long, but then a song like Stars They Move is just a little bit over 3 minutes. So how do you know when a song is done?
that's a very good question. That's one of the things we talk about. I say, like, in Swedish, I say when I feel a song is complete. That's what I tried. I don't know if it translates good in English, but I try to, when a song really feels like, okay, this song is from start to finish, everything makes sense, everything is important, and nothing is unnecessary. And then that's when I feel, okay, now this song is complete, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But, you just have to feel and listen to it and feel and try to step out of your intellectual mind also. To me, I always try to step out of my intellectual mind and just listen to the song and feel it and try to, okay, if I never heard this song before, how would I feel? All these kind of things that, of course, are impossible to do, but you can try a little bit to listen to it, like for the first time or whatever, when in the process. And I listen. When we work on the songs, I listen to them quite much actually, mm-hmm. and in different, different situations or whatever. You can have them like, I work on the songs and then maybe I don't listen to it for a few days, and then I sit down by myself with my headphones and 2 glasses of wine or whatever, and then I'm in another mood, and then I get another perspective, So it's that's one way of looking at it from different angles, I think you should, it's a little bit like laying a puzzle when you write a song, and then you walk around, you kind of walk around it, the song, and you look at it from different angles, and you try to find out if it needs more or if it needs less, or all these kind of things. Mm-hmm. And then at one point you have to make a decision. Okay, now it's done.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have deadlines for, right?
Forever. Yeah, and but hopefully, you have a good sense for these things, and also we talk a lot of the whole band, all of us. We talk and debate about the songs, and there's a lot of people involved that kind of gives their perspective, and so it's not a one-man job. I think it's usually good to have a lot of talented people involved. Yeah. If you want to try to do a good album. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm very happy to be surrounded by a lot of talented people.
Yeah. And I have 2 more questions for you. But as a lot of people, or some people may know, that you just recently also produced the new Candlemass album, which the song "The Great Octopus," which features Tony Iommi, is nominated for a Grammy. I mean, kind of a cliche question, but like, how does it feel that you are behind that? Because I know that you've worked closely with Candlemass over the years and everything, but like when you see that you helped contribute to a song that connected with people to the point where it's nominated for a Grammy, I mean, how do you look at yourself as an artist for such a tremendous accomplishment?
That's amazing. It's so amazing, and all of us were so happy. Now I was really, this is something I never even thought about could happen, because I live in little Sweden, and we do what we do. Sometimes when I talk to like lately, I think I said like 1 week ago when we talked, it's like, maybe you and I are the only one who kind of likes these kind of sounds and these things that we are into. Sometimes you feel like that because we work, we meet in my studio, and I don't meet many people all the time. And so sometimes it feels a little bit lonely, the way I work. And then something like this happens, and it's so amazing, and I feel extremely happy and grateful, and it's such an honor to be recognized like this. Yeah,
it's
and once again, I'm lot of talented people are involved, and you know, it's an honor to work with all these great people that I work with.
Yeah.
But it's, of course, it's also like a quality mark, whatever you say, that we are doing something right.
Yeah.
So it also inspires me to. It really inspires me to keep on doing what I'm doing and try to do it even better.
Of course. Of course. And that led me into my final question, because, you know, there's a lot of musicians who are in very successful bands, but also work as producers, such as Adam D from Killswitch Engage and Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy, and so much. Like, I was curious, when you are working as a producer, kind of like two questions in one, but is it a completely like different mind frame working with somebody else's music as opposed to the stuff you do with Avatarium?
Not completely different, but you know, like when I work with Candlemas, for example, then it's really Leif Edling's vision that I'm trying to help him to bring forward, and when we work with the songs, and of course I bring in my stuff, but you know, Candlemas is, they already have their sound, they have the way they want to perform and write songs and record songs. And I just try to capture that and even hopefully help them to find some new things and emotions and sounds that maybe they didn't do before. So when I work with Avatarium, the difference would be that maybe I'm more in charge of, you know, the vision. You know, we the band, we talk about the vision. Okay, how do we want this album to sound? And we create the vision. When we started the Candlemas album, Leif Edling had a vision. I wanted to sound somewhere, you know, in around, you know, this ballpark, and then me and Leif talked about it. How can we reach that? How can we get there? And with Avatarium, my own band, then I'm the one that tells my band, okay, I would like the band to sound a little bit like the album to sound a little bit like this. How can we do that?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but also there's a lot of things that are the same anyway. But you know, every album, even if it's with my band or another band, it's always different.
Yeah.
You know, different procedures, and that's what makes it happen and makes it interesting and fun to work with music and to produce music as well.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine, like, when an artist approaches you as a producer, like, do you sometimes have to adjust your idea of what production is depending on do you have to look at the band's back catalog and be like, this is what I have to do? Yeah. Or do they sometimes want you to just bring completely your own mix to their sound?
Yeah, it depends on, but you know, I think as a producer you need to be able to listen to the artist. When I work with another artist, it's their vision, and my job is to help them to reach that vision. Of course, they probably work with me because they kind of like the way I, you know, think about music and these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, it's the artist's vision that is important, and I think some people, some producers I worked with back in the days, they had their way of working, and when I came there as a guitar player, I felt that sometimes they didn't really understand what I wanted to do, and I think then you fail a little bit as a producer, because a producer needs to try to understand the artist and help them to reach their goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why I really like to produce music.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, because people will come and ask me stuff and talk about music that maybe I didn't listen to them much, and then I learned, you know, it's gives me an opportunity to learn more about music.
Yeah.
And study more music. So it's an amazing job, I would say.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Is there just anything else with Avatarium that you would like to promote in terms of, can we be expecting to see you on the road anytime soon for shows or any new music in the work?
We'll do some touring in Europe. At least they want us to tour in Europe. And we will try to do, we have a kid that's almost 2 years old, so we have to find out how we can tour because we are married, me and the singer. Yeah. And going overseas would of course be amazing, but there's no plan for that at the moment. But you never know. That would be amazing. I don't know how the album will be. Yeah. The response of the album in North America, but hopefully people will like it. And I think this album really has potential to reach out to a lot of people.
Definitely.
There's a lot of different emotions and different kinds of music in there, and I'm really proud of this album. So to me, this is a new, almost like a new start for Avatarium with this album, and I think we can do. We have a new platform where we can just get better and better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to talk to you, really.
Yeah, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much. Everybody, we are here with Marcus of Avatarium, The Fire I Long For, out on Nuclear Blast. Pick that up. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.